Hi, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is April 10th. I'm delighted that you found my channel and are checking it out. This is a new channel, as you probably know. And again, I repeat, my intention is that people who are looking for the messages that I have to share will find me. So ultimately, if you've enjoyed the video after you've watched it, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Today, I thought I would just take a quick look at the sort of the United States and what's going on there. So William Barr was answering questions yesterday in front of the Congress. Today, I believe it's in front of the Senate. He has given a lot of non-answer answers. He has said a few things that are a little bit shocking. We have Donald Trump basically insisting that the people of the intelligence community are, treasonous, and that the whole thing, has been an attempt to unseat a sitting president, the whole investigation situation. So I just thought that we would just take a look and see sort of what the energies are, what's going on right now. I only have about 3 or 4 questions that I want to ask, and the way I've decided to do it today is I'm going to sort of fan out the cards, ask a question, and pull cards. I'm going to trust that Spirit will guide me to the cards that will give us the clearest and most accurate answers for the questions that I have to ask. So the first question that I'm going to ask is about the Mueller report, and William Barr says that it's going to be released in about a week. So I just want to take a look and see if that's actually going to happen. So I'm just going to fan out these cards, and I am going to bring the camera down so you can see what I'm actually doing. Oopsie. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the Mueller report, and if it's actually going to be released within a week, and what the reaction to the report is going to be. Now just pull 2, 3, 4 cards out depending on kind of how I'm feeling and what they're telling me. Okay, so yes, it's going to be released within the week. He will keep his word on that. There is going to be some really interesting information in the report, stuff that we didn't, know, stuff that wasn't made public. It's going to have more information than people who fear extensive redactions will think it is. And it's going to have, unfortunately, more information that people who wish the Mueller report would just quietly go away and just keep saying that Trump is exonerated is going to have. So you kind of are going to have information that both sides are going to like and both sides are not going to like. There's definitely going to be information coming out, insight coming out. Do not be surprised if the report sort of is slightly less spectacular or explosive. I think people really wanted that report to just sort of cut this administration off at the knees, and that's not going to happen. But there is definitely going to be some really interesting insights that come from it. And there is also going to be sort of a period of everybody just backing down a little bit and letting things kind of unfold. This card, the Four of Swords, typically talks about taking a break, backing off. It can very often indicate illness or recovering from an illness. It is a time of quiet. It is a time of stillness or rest. Now, as those words are coming out of my mouth, I am reminded of the fact that about the time that this report is supposed to be released by Barr, it slides right into the Easter break for the government. So this could also be an indicator that the response to the report is going to be much quieter than people are expecting, because people, members of the government are not going to be in a place where they can easily and quickly respond to it. Okay, so that's interesting. I am concerned a little bit about Trump and his behavior. Just before I did this reading, I saw him on the television announcing to everybody that when it came right down to it, he was the only one actually running Homeland Security, and so it didn't matter so much if all of these people were fired and not really replaced, because really, he's doing it, he's in charge of it, that's how it is. So let's just take a look at kind of where Trump is right now in terms of the state of Trump. Well, he definitely is feeling like justice has been served, and more, he is very interested in getting justice. He wants to go after anybody who he believes has crossed him, has questioned him. He feels he got justice, and he wants to hand out justice. So that would be a little bit concerning, I would think, for most citizens of the United States. That doesn't strike me as how the United States is supposed to run. This card is representative of illusions and delusions. So the bottom line is he is telling himself stories. He believes the stories he's telling himself, and frankly, worse, he is surrounded by people who absolutely agree with the insanity of the story he is telling. There is nobody in his tight circle that actually will contradict him or say, that's not quite accurate, Mr. President. So he is basically allowed to stay in this state of telling himself whatever story he wants to tell himself and believing it. No one's going to tell him otherwise, frankly. Ultimately, he is going to experience heartbreak. He's going to be disappointed. He's going to feel as if he has been betrayed. And frankly, from what I can see looking at it from somebody who does not live in the United States and is really not so as impacted, but that's never a good thing, okay? Because whenever he gets upset or he feels attacked or he feels that he isn't being heard or respected enough, he lashes out. And so that's kind of a concern. So what we have here is a man who's believing his own stories. He's out to get justice for himself. And ultimately, he is going to be a little bit heartbroken about that. And that tends to cause him to lash out. And this is the card of group work, but it is also the card of dirty money. So that is his concern. That is what worries him. He does not want people looking into his finances. He does not want that sort of information released to the public. I'm just going to continue and pull out a few more cards asking the follow-up question, which is, are Trump's tax returns ultimately going to be released to, the Ways and Means Committee, who has the authority and has made that request? In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the deadline for those things to be turned over is today. Okay, so it's 12:30 Alberta time, so we're talking it is 2:30 on the East Coast. So problem. I'm just going to pause this for a second. Okay. Sorry about that, people. My battery was running low, and the last thing I wanted to have happen was to have to sort of start this over again, because I feel that these cards are accurate in telling a story. I do apologize. I am so out of my element with computers and how they work. Any other normal person, I'm sure, would have probably checked the battery before they started recording, but you know, I didn't do that. So let's carry on. I wanted to find out about tax returns. Will they be released? Well, there's a lot of interest in his money. There's a lot of interest in how he spends it, where it goes, how much of it he actually has. Will it be released? There's going to be a battle. There's going to be a bit of a fight to get those released. I do not see the Treasury just handing them over. There's definitely going to be some delay. There's going to be some squabbling and fighting about validity and not validity. But ultimately, the burden that the IRS and the Treasury Department carry is that they are going to have to release it. They are not going to care. They're not going to have a choice about that. It is definitely the tax returns are going to have to be released. They're going to come out, and there's going to be a lot more that is hidden than people realize is hidden. There's going to be some interesting things that are found out as a result, and there are going to be probably some either, if not new investigations, then certainly more information given in terms of existing investigations. Do not expect that the public is going to see this information anytime soon. They are the people who are receiving that information, who are getting it, are going to be very, very vigilant about ensuring that that stuff is not leaked, that it is kept private. They don't want to be accused of having done this for political gain. Their intentions are yes, political, but they really are more motivated by actually trying to get to the bottom of this, trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And so they're not going to leak them. They're not going to release things. They're going to hold them fairly close to their vest. And, oh no. Sorry. This computer thing, I swear. I'll pop that back up there. Okay. So, my next question is going to be about what else would I like to know about? I think I would like to know about the GOP and how the Republican Party are going to continue responding to Trump as he continues to get more erratic. I mean, certainly there were some people yesterday saying, that this behavior with Homeland Security is not good. They don't need this kind of upheaval. So let's just see how the GOP is feeling right now and what their thinking is. Okay, again, the dark money card. So, do they have something to hide? Probably. Are they concerned? Probably. I think they don't want too much stuff coming out. It's not going to make them look good, and it's going to make it really difficult for them to defend. They're just, unfortunately, though, there is going to be more information coming out that has to do with money being spent, money being hidden, and it may involve more than the president. So there is some news and some actions coming that I pertaining to money that I don't think that the GOP is going to like, and more than that. I think that there is also going to be issues with money in terms of the public, the citizens of the United States. So again, does this have something to do with perhaps people filing their tax returns and finding out that, oh, you know what, those promises that were made, they did not come to pass. And you know what, I'm not going to get the tax return that I thought I was going to get. So there's just going to be a lot of talk about money, a lot of talk about kind of what has been done by the government in terms of safeguarding people's money, in terms of, helping them have more money, keep their money. So what's the result of that going to be? What's going to happen? Well, people are going to start seeing things from a different perspective in terms of the GOP. What they're looking at now is, and this would pertain, of course, to the supporters of the Republican Party and the Trump agenda, they also are going to start seeing things from a slightly different perspective. Certainly when it impacts their kitchen table issues, when it impacts their bank book, when they're not getting the tax returns they want, when they see money being spent in a way that is not supporting what they're looking for and what they need. So there's definitely looks like there's going to be sort of a slowing down of the support perhaps, and a new perspective coming. People looking at things just a little bit differently from a different angle or perspective. And they're going to be spinning stuff. They're going to be trying to spin stuff. Continue to expect that for the most part, certainly in the immediate future, Mitch McConnell is going to be sort of quiet. He's not going to have kind of a lot to say. He'll only speak when something really outlandish or outrageous is going on. Then he'll have a couple of mumbled words to say. He is going to continue keeping his own counsel. He is really not going to be supportive of what's going on, nor is he actually going to jump up and down and say, no, that's wrong. Okay, so just sit here for a second and think if there's anything else that I'm really curious to know right now today about the situation, the political situation in the United States. Oh, you know what I would like to take just a really quick look at the situation on the southern border with immigration. Trump is not happy because judges keep saying he can't do what he wants to do, and he's becoming more and more harsh, more aggressive about what he's trying to accomplish. So can we find out, Spirit, some information? What can you tell us about the southern border and that situation? Okay, so we've got the Knight of Pentacles. That's very often talking about some action being taken with regards to money or funding. We've got the Six of Swords, which is an indicator usually of moving from troubled waters into calmer waters, smoother waters. So from that, you can perhaps hope that some of the aggression will just be backed off a little bit. Things will just, I mean, certainly he did that with the whole closing the border, the threats to Mexico. When it came right down to it, he backed away from that. Oh, I'm going to give them a year. I'm going to give them a year. So, you know, I see a little bit more of that, a sort of a little bit more of he says one thing and ends up doing something very, very different. In this instance, I'm reading the Queen of Pentacles here as investigations, as people looking into things, as court decisions, as you know, yes, you can do this, or no, you cannot do this, and you jumping up and down and crying is not going to get you what you want. It's not going to happen. So that, I think, is some good news. And this is also an indicator that the money that he needs to put some of his plans in action are not going to be there, and that there is going to be sort of powers from on high. So I would say the court systems saying, no, you can not do this, and yes, you can do this, or allocating more funds, suggesting more funds. There could be payouts, money being paid to people who have been victimized or hurt by what's going on at the border. I'm just going to pull out 2 more cards to wrap this up. Yeah, okay. So, and ultimately, judgment. He is going to be judged for this. He is being judged by this on this. It's not going to end up being the amazing thing that he thinks it's going to be for him. It's really, really not. It is. He's going to end up being very, very harshly judged for his cruelty. And that is going to be ultimately what he's remembered for. He's going to be remembered for being cruel. He's going to be remembered for being erratic. And he's going to be remembered for being really not in keeping with how Americans see themselves and how they would like to be portrayed in the world and to the world. So, I'm sorry, I apologize again for the technical glitches and the I don't know what I'm doing, but you know, computers, they're a mystery to me. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, please. And I will see you soon. In the meantime, keep your energy up. Keep positive thoughts happening. They're important. They help. So share a smile instead of a frown, and be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.